Hey guys, Sam Landa here. Welcome to my first blog. I am excited to be doing this. I'm also a little bit nervous, and I'm actually reminded of a time years ago where I was counseling a married couple. And when they came in, the wife was just staring me down, looking at me. She was basically, from what I was able to read, who's this young guy, unmarried guy who's going to teach us about marriage. And I was just felt so insecure about the whole process. And we eventually ended up going a couple of sessions before um, they they decided to stop coming. But um, I was thinking about that, and I'm kind of feeling the same way now. It's kind of like, who's this Sam Landa guy, or who's Sam to be talking to us about these important issues about faith, family, and education. So I'm feeling a little bit like that right now. I'm sure it'll be okay, and it'll go away after a couple of vlogs. But I just want to thank you guys for being here and being able to discuss some important topics. And I'll be touching, like I said, I'll be touching on a lot of different things, but specifically faith, family, and education. Those are my three big topics that I like to address and I like to discuss with a lot of people. So let's get right into it. So last week I posed a question, and I asked, what do children and adults need? Like, what is their greatest need? And a couple of you guys mentioned they need attention, which is true. Children, they need to be attended to. I have two little boys, so I know a lot about that we need to pay attention to what their needs are and then meet those needs. And even for adults, right? When you do something, it's almost like we seek the attention of other people when we do certain things, whether it be our parents, our boss, our significant other, whoever it is. Attention was very key in maybe one of the needs that we have. Another one was independence. I had a friend message me, and he said, I think we need independence. Both kids need independence and adults need independence, and that was also a good suggestion as well. And someone else also mentioned relationships, and probably, all of life is relationships. So all of those three branches really do touch on what I'm about to speak on today. So I call it the 5S development model. And basically there's just 5 S's that we all need in order to be effective world changers. I put up a small picture yesterday with my son, and said, how can I help my child be a world changer, right? Or change his world. And I asked that very intentionally because sometimes we have these big ambitions of changing the whole world when we're in a smaller circle, a smaller world, and we're not even impacting those people. So you can't really dream about impacting the whole world if you can't influence the circle around you. So that was essentially my point. But people who impact the world have these 5 S's that I'm about to explain, but I'm going to touch only on one tonight, and I'll keep on touching on the other ones as we move forward. But the first one that is critical to changing the world around you, specifically in your circle, is the ability to feel secure, right? Security. And security starts when we're young, right? When children are born from 0 to about 2 years old, they're fully dependent on the parent. Now, this doesn't mean, obviously, if he's 3 or 4, that they're not dependent on the parent. What I'm saying is that in those first 2 years, they're so critical, right? They can't really communicate. They communicate by crying. They communicate by looking at us, by gesturing, whatever the case is. But they communicate to us that they have needs, and we as parents try to meet those needs. So this is going to be controversial, I know, for some of you, but here's my perspective on meeting the needs of children. 3 things need to be evident when it comes to meeting the needs of children. Number 1, it needs to be timely. So what I mean by that is that when a child has a need, they're crying, right? They need their diaper changed, they need food, they just want you to carry them, whatever the case is, they have a need. And timeliness refers to how quickly we're able to meet that need. My wife and I, we discussed this before we got married. Well, before we had kids. And one of the things that I emphasized a lot was, if our boys cry from 0 to 2 years old, this is my commitment to you. If they cry, we will go and try to meet whatever need that is. If it's that they need a diaper change, that they need to eat, that they just want to be with us, right? And not let them cry it out. And that's the work, because I know a lot of parents out there are going to say, well, let them cry it out. They'll eventually learn how to self-soothe. I did not want to do that. And it's not because I can't, not let him cry or let my boys cry, but it's because they have a need. And the only people who can meet that need is me or my wife, because we're his parents, we're their parents. So timeliness. How long does it take for me to meet whatever need it is that my child has? Again, we're talking about security. So the timeliness of meeting a need builds security. So at most, obviously, there's days where you're just tired. You don't know if you want to, get up right away. So sometimes, you just wait. Maybe they're just crying because something scared them and they're just crying a little bit. But you wait for a little while, and then you go and meet that need. So I don't think I did, let it go past 2-3 minutes. If they were just continually crying and I knew that they had a need, they just woke up, they got startled, or they just want our attention, right? The other needs, change their diaper, feeding them, those are common sense. But sometimes they just wanted to be with us. So that was a need that I wanted for us to meet, right? So there's timeliness. The second one, consistency. How do I do this? Do I try to meet my child's need all of the time? Meaning, if I do it every 2 minutes, if they start crying and I wait for 2 minutes and then I go and meet that need, is that the case all of the time? Within those 2 minutes, do I try to meet my child's need within those 2 minutes, or is it sometimes 10 minutes and other times 5 minutes and other times at 2 minutes, right? There's this level of inconsistency that doesn't breed security in the child. So I need to be consistent, or as parents, we need to be consistent in meeting our child's needs. So if you're only waiting 3 minutes and you do that pretty often or all of the time, then that's a good thing. That builds security in the child because they know what to expect. And what you'll find, and it's real interesting because I saw this with both of my boys, is that even when they start hearing your footsteps down the hall, right? Because you're so consistent that they slowly start to calm themselves down, right? And then I go in there, we pick them up, we pick them up, and almost within 10 seconds, they are soothing, right? They're calming themselves down because mom or dad is here to take care of them, right? So consistency. If sometimes you wait longer than usual, and other times you react right away, so you're inconsistent in meeting those needs, that doesn't create security for a child. It creates more insecurity, because then it's like, well, are they going to come now? Are they going to come later? All of these things just kind of is the system, the internal systems or thinking models, working models that they have as to when can I expect mom or dad to meet this need, right? So there's timeliness, consistency, and effectiveness. Okay, so last thing is what I'm doing effective, right? If you're getting frustrated and you're just, Tim, calm down, and it's not working, then don't use that. Use something else. Maybe you need to engage them more. Maybe you just need to hold them and just be patient with them, right? And it works differently with every child. I get that. What I'm trying to say is use something that's effective, something that actually works. For both of our boys, it's been a little bit different. I feel like our second born, once you carry him, he just slowly starts to soothe himself and he calms down pretty quickly. Our first one took a little bit longer, but I think he also calmed down if we just kind of held him close to us and we would just comfort him, speak to him in a gentle voice and so on. But those 3 factors really are the key to helping a child feel secure, right? And if a child feels secure early on, then that tends to persist throughout their life, right? Meeting their child's needs helps breed security in their lives. Then they can, as they grow up, then they can have this line of thinking where people can meet my needs. People that care about me can meet my needs. And eventually what you're hoping is that they can also believe that they can meet other people's needs as well. But when someone is insecure, when they don't know what to expect, when they don't know if their own needs are going to be met, that leaves in them a lot of insecurity, right? And you may see this with yourself, right? Now, don't start tracing back and thinking, calling your mom and dad and saying, "Hey, mom, did you pick me up right away, or did you wait this long?" Whatever the case is, don't try to trace your history all the way back. This is mainly for, if you're a young parent, if you're going to be a parent someday. I think personally that these are the three things that will definitely help your child feel secure. And like I said, it helps persist throughout their lifetime. So children who have their needs met very early on, and that persists, right? Because parents work by patterns. So if they've done it when they were the first 2 years old, they're most likely continuing that as the child gets older. So obviously met a lot of people. I have a lot of experience working with adolescents and young adults, right? College students. And I ask questions. I say, how was it like growing up? And that was one of the main themes, that they can depend and feel confident that their parents and people that care about them will meet their needs. And those are physical needs, emotional needs, and spiritual needs, right? So if we can meet our child's basic needs, then that can create in them a sense of security. But we need to be timely, we need to be consistent, and it needs to be effective. Okay? So I know that probably that last point, or the last 3 points are probably going to give provide a lot of discussion for many of you. And again, feel free to ask questions, comment in the comment boxes below, like this, share it, and also if you have time, go to my YouTube channel and subscribe. All right, well, I'll see you next week.